Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to do a little bit of bolt carrier bolt maintenance on an MP5 or AP5, whatever you got. I'm going to show you how to do checking bolt gap after this, but since I know my bolt gap is out of not quite out of spec, but almost out of spec, I need to do this first. So what I'm going to show you today is, one, I'm going to teach you how to replace an extractor spring. I'm going to teach you how to replace the rollers and roller retainer, and I'm going to teach you how to make sure that I'm going to teach you how to replace the locking wedge as well. So for now, let's go ahead and start here. All right, so I've got to be honest with you. I do not have a punch that is this size. I have a flathead screwdriver because I have broken all of my punches that were this size. Fortunately, you are not supposed to reuse this retainer pin anyway. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to destroy it and move on because I've got a replacement. You're never supposed to reuse these. So let's go ahead and zoom in, get us centered. I'm going to take my little flathead screwdriver that I have ground off to a point. I'm going to find my hole in the thing here and just, that seems to have popped out. Now, your rollers should, unless I have screwed something up horribly, fall right out the side. Yep. Just like so. And the retainer should be down in this pin hole here. Just go ahead and reach in, just dump that out. If it's got grease or oil or whatever on it, it will be a little difficult, but there you go. I am going to save that just in case, but you're not supposed to reuse roll pins. Here is your factory rollers. These should be 8mm. And there's your factory roller retainer plate. I have a retainer spring that I'm going to replace this with. Not an Action 3, but a conversion spring. So I will not be needing that again. However, if you do not have an Action 3, or whatever you're replacing it with, the retainer to spring conversion from HK Parts, if you do not have that part, go ahead and keep this out. You're going to need it. The only thing you need to know is these little indents here. You can see them, kind of catch your fingernail. Those go inside of the divots on the bottom of the rollers, just like so. So we're going to go ahead and put those in a Ziploc bag, save those in case I need them for later. I shouldn't, but you know, never know how this goes. My my bolt gap spec was 0.25 millimeters, which is in spec. However, it is right at the edge of spec. The spec for bolt gap is 0.25 to 0.50. So we're going to go ahead and swap out the rollers for that. While we're here, let's go ahead and tear open our retainer spring. Same thing here, just like with the retainer plate that comes with it. There are two little barbed hooks on either end. Those go into the divots. And though that spring sits inside that slot right there. So you're going to go ahead and turn your bolt upside down, and with these divots facing upwards, go ahead and just slide it in there partially, like that. Does not matter which orientation as far as I know, as far as I was informed. Now, I was at 0.25, and every +2 on a roller should be 0.05 increase in bolt gap. So I could go with a +4, but they've been out of stock everywhere. This is a +3. That should put me around 0.32 bolt gap, which should be fine. You don't want too low. You would rather be on the high end of the bolt gap spec because that allows it to lock up a little bit tighter, but you don't want to go over 0.50 because you could end up with, supposedly you can end up with failures to eject. So next, you see I have this retainer kind of partially sticking out. You're going to take the divoted end of this. Add a little lubricant from your fingers if you got some. And you're going to put that divot on that little spring, like so. And you should be able to capture it. There you go. You're going to move the spring over further until you can see it poking out here. Grab your other roller, a little lubricant from your fingers, and repeat the process. It may take a little bit of finagling, just like so. And this part can be a little tough. You may want to grab your punch or whatever, but it will go in eventually, just like that. And I believe that is captured. There you go. Now you can take your locking wedge and press them out slightly. And if they will close and pop out like that, you're good to go. Looking good. Looking quite good. Okay, so you're going to want to keep these slightly pushed in, not completely pushed in, but slightly pushed in, just enough that you can get a pin through that hole there. Set this on your bench block. Go ahead and grab your replacement retainer pin. It's very tiny, be careful not to lose it. Set that in the pinhole. Lose it, be sure to lose it. Set that in the pinhole like so. I may have to get a starter punch. You may need a starter punch for yours. There we go. Get that kind of placed in like that. Grab my hammer. I'm going to use the steel end just so that it drives in better and quicker. And you see it is starting to go. It shouldn't take much effort. I'm going to take my locking wedge here and just roll those rollers back open again, just to be safe. Alright. Cool. Alright, now you're going to make sure it's flush with the surface. Then you're going to take a small punch. I believe this is a 3/32 punch. You're going to take it, and this is a round-headed one. You may need something that is not round-headed. You're going to hit it till it's just below the surface there, which that is now done. Go ahead and take your locking wedge and make sure that it does in fact work. And if it does, you should be fine. If the rollers don't fall out, you're good to go. Looking in there, I see that my spring has centered itself and I'm ready to go. Alright, that is how you replace the bolt rollers on an MP5 bolt. And next we're going to show you how to replace a locking wedge. That part's even easier.